Hello, I'm Ollie and this is Criminally, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today I'm trying to give up using my Kindle and it's getting harder. So I've put up a couple of videos about this already. Basically, I am trying to give up the Kindle ecosystem. I'm trying to stop using my Kindle devices, trying to stop using the Kindle apps on other devices, just trying to break away from Amazon for my digital reading. I love reading digitally, but I just feel like Amazon controls the market too much and is too intrusive to me as a reader when I'm reading on one of their devices. So I've been trying to break away, and so far it's gone well. Until the last couple of weeks. So a few things have come up in the last couple of weeks where problems have kind of got in my way. I've managed to overcome them for the most part, or at least resign myself to the fact that I'm not going to be able to overcome them. But it has definitely felt like a harder period. I haven't weakened. I haven't, bought any Kindle books. I haven't been reading on Kindle or anything like that. But it has been a little bit more of a struggle in the last couple of weeks. So I thought I would talk through with you what those challenges have been, and how I've either overcome them or decided I'm not going to worry about overcoming them, because I think it's people have expressed an interest in what I'm doing, so I wanted to flag some of the pitfalls to people, so that you can make an informed decision about whether or not this is something you want to try doing as well. So let me go through the different things that have come up in the last couple of weeks since I last made a video. So the main thing to say is I'm still really enjoying reading on other devices. So I've been reading on the Kobo Libra Color for the most part, which is a fantastic device, really enjoying that. I've also continued to use my Books Palmer for when I'm commuting, so a nice small e-reader device, really easy to read on, very pleasant to read on. You can use the volume buttons on the side to turn pages and things like that. So it's a real pleasure to read on. And I've got all of my books from my Kindle library. I've removed the DRM from them, so they're available to me to read on other devices. So what problems have I had in the last couple of weeks then? So the first one is I realised that what I hadn't managed to do was get my old NetGalley books onto my other devices. So I'm a big user of NetGalley. NetGalley, if you don't know, is a website where publishers can make available to people like me who review books advanced digital copies of their books to read. And there's different ways you can, if you've been accepted by a publisher to review one of their books, there's different ways you can get that book. You can download a copy of it and then transfer it to your device, or the way I always used to do it, the easiest way to do it, I think, is to send it direct to your Kindle. So you can register your Kindle email address. All Kindles have an email address. You can register that with NetGalley and you just click a button and the book gets sent to your Kindle. What that meant was, when I went through the huge exercise of downloading all of my Kindle library and removing the DRM from it, the NetGalley books weren't there because they weren't books I bought from the Amazon store. So that posed a challenge for me. How do I get these books? I can see them. If I log on to like amazon.co.uk, I can see those books there, but I don't have the option to download them. And when I go to NetGalley, because a lot of these books are books that I got accepted for a long time ago and haven't got around to reading yet, they've like been archived on NetGalley, so I couldn't download them there either. So I did a bit of Googling and discovered what I needed to do was use the Kindle app on my laptop, on my MacBook, to download the books to my MacBook, which I can do, and then from there I can navigate to where they're kind of saved in the file structure on the MacBook, and get them into Calibre, which is an e-reading kind of management piece of software where I could remove the DRM from them. So I've gradually started doing that. I do have quite a lot of books that I haven't got to on NetGalley, shamefully. So I do want to read all of them at some point. So I'm gradually going to get all of them moved over to my other devices, my non-Kindle devices. So that is a problem I've managed to overcome. The other problems, for the most part, have been a bit more tricky, and they're to do with the availability of particular books. So Amazon has done a great job, as I said at the start, of kind of dominating that ebook market, particularly in the West, so particularly in the US and the UK. And what that means is there are some books that are only available from Amazon, and that feels like, instinctively to me as a lifelong reader, that feels like a weird thing. The fact you'd only be able to buy a book from one shop, basically. It feels a bit weird, doesn't it? But I think it's something that increasingly we are getting used to in the modern world. So, you know, streaming services, which are probably the way that most people consume movies and TV content nowadays, you get very used to the idea that you can only watch a particular film or a particular show on, you know, Netflix or Amazon Prime or, you know, whatever. So I think it's something we're getting more used to, but it does, for books, to me, feel a bit weird. And these are books, you know, in some instances where you can't buy a physical copy of the book. In some of them you can buy a physical copy of the book, but in some you can't buy a physical copy of the book. And the only way to get them is on Kindle. So the first of those is a book that Mike, one of my subscribers, pointed out to me. Features a character with my name. So my name is Olly Clarke. There is a character in this book called Olly Clarke. So I thought, well, that sounds fun. I should get hold of a copy of that book and read it. The book is called Arizona Bounty. So it's a Western, you can probably tell from that title. And it's by an author called James Reasoner. It's only available on Kindle. So it's a book that's on Kindle Unlimited. And independent authors, when you make a book and when you opt to have your book available on Kindle Unlimited, one of the things in the terms and conditions that Amazon sets is you can't sell that book on any other ebook store, which feels a bit like an abuse of their market position to me, because Kindle Unlimited is a big market and a lot of authors do choose to use it. But what that means is that book is exclusive to Amazon, so I won't be able to get hold of a copy of that book, sadly. The second book then that I had a similar challenge with is a book called The Groomer by an author called John Athan. So this is a book that had been on my list of disturbing books that I wanted to read for the ongoing Disturbing Books project that I've been doing. I thought I'd already bought a copy of this book, but I hadn't. And when I went to look, it seems to only be available on Amazon. So I can't get hold of a copy of it. It's a book I wasn't particularly looking forward to reading anyway, shall we say. It's an extreme horror book, which I don't tend to enjoy. I've read another book by John Athan, which I didn't enjoy at all. So it's probably no big loss, and I've had to resign myself to the fact I won't be able to read it. But again, it was an unexpected roadblock. It was something that I was expecting either that I had that book already or that I'd be able to buy it from the Kobo store or something like that, but unfortunately not. And then the third similarly themed thing in terms of a book that I just can't get elsewhere is a book called Falling Down by Chuck Hogan and Guillermo del Toro. So Amazon do this thing called, I think they call it Prime First or something like that, or Kindle First, where if you are a Prime member, and I'm still a Prime member, you can get a free ebook each month. And this month, one of the books was this book. Now, I've read a couple of other books by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. They wrote a series of books called The Strand, which I think was based on a TV series that Guillermo del Toro had produced. And I really like those books. And this book sounds really good. It sounds like a good kind of adventure type book. But yes, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it any other way, and certainly won't be able to get it free any other way. So yes, another one I won't be able to read. And then there are two more kind of interesting things, one of which I was aware of going into this, and that is, as you may know, I'm involved in publishing a book at the beginning of August called The Garbology, which will be an anthology of trashy fiction. I'm publishing that with Troy Tradup, who has a publishing company called Tough Times, and I'm really looking forward to it coming out. Now, we decided right from the start that this book would only be available on Amazon. It's the easiest way to do it for us. Amazon are very, very easy to publish with. So it won't be on Kindle Unlimited, but we won't be selling it on other ebook stores because it's a lot of work to do that. So I understand why people don't. You will be able to buy a physical copy of it, a paperback copy of it, which will be provided through Amazon's print-on-demand service. But it does occur to me that it is a bit of a it's somewhat ironic, isn't it, that just as I start this project where I'm talking about giving up the Kindle, I'm involved in the publication of a book which will be exclusive to Kindle. Now, the one saving grace with this is what we are doing with this book is we are making it DRM free. So when you publish a book on Kindle, you can choose to make it DRM free. So whilst you will only be able to buy it from Amazon, you'll be able to read it on any device you want to. So you'll be able to sideload it onto your Kobo or what have you, and read it on that should you want to. So again, something that isn't working perfectly, shall we say, in terms of this project, but I think it's the right decision. And then finally, a weird one. So I get emails from publicists and companies all the time asking if they can sponsor content on the channel. And I probably 90% of those I either just don't respond to at all because they're so weird and so completely completely diverged from the content of the channel. Like I got one a while ago asking me to feature a sports bra on the channel, which is just very weird. So all I can assume is some of these marketers just send out like blanket emails to everyone who's, every channel they can find basically, or every channel over a certain size or whatever. Anyway, this week I got an email from a publicist, a company of publicists who are working with Amazon to promote Prime Reads. So I have declined that offer. But would I have made a different decision prior to this project? Probably not, because for a while I've have felt a little bit uncomfortable with Amazon, and that's why when I put links to books in the description on my review videos, I use Bookshop rather than Amazon. So I could sign up as an affiliate with Amazon. I could put Amazon links in those videos and earn commission from Amazon, but I've chosen not to do that. I use Bookshop instead, which supports independent bookshops. But yeah, that was a bit of a weird one, completely unexpected. But yes, definitely not something I'm interested in taking that publicist up on. So anyway, yeah, that's been kind of an update on my progress and some unexpected challenges. I think I'm pretty okay with where I've ended up with all of them, but I thought it was worth talking about them with you so that if you do decide to do something like this, you're aware of some of the pitfalls. And I think the biggest one is that one around the availability of certain books, the fact that there are some books you can only get on Kindle. You just can't get them any other way. And that's definitely a consideration. Anyway, as always, thanks very much for watching. Hope you're safe and well out there. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.